All right, folks, it's panel time. I know you wait for this all day and all night. You say, when's that Malzberg show coming on with the panel? Well, we are here, first panel of the day, and it's the former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, former Congressman Pete Hoekstra joins us, as well as radio host and author of The Big Black Lie, and that is Kevin Jackson. Hello, gentlemen.
Good to talk to you.
Good to be with you, Steve.
Well, good to talk to you guys. All right, we have breaking news, which I'm hearing. I know I love hearing myself, but I'm hearing myself in complete sentences over and over. But anyway, the U.S. has delayed a review of the Keystone Pipeline. The State Department is citing a recent decision by a Nebraska judge that overturned the state law, blah, blah, blah. The bottom line is that they're giving federal agencies more time to review the Keystone Pipeline proposal, and that's going to push a decision most probably beyond the midterm elections. Congressman, this seems like it should be a pretty easy decision by now, at least one way or the other.
Surprise. They're not going to have this happen until after the election. But the more important thing here, Steve, is take a look at what is happening in Europe. The reason that Europe is powerless to act against the Soviet or against Russia is it has put itself in a position where it is dependent on Russia for its natural gas. Here we are in the United States. We not only could be energy dependent, we could be setting up a supply line to allies around the world, to fledgling democracies, to get them off of the hook of Russian energy. And this administration for 5-6 years has sat on the biggest opportunity the United States has ever had to foster democracy, economic growth, free markets, making America an energy powerhouse. And one more time, what are they going to do? Delay it for electoral purposes.
And Kevin, I mean, I would think that this is a winning issue, another winning issue for the Republicans come the fall.
Yeah, I agree. And I probably couldn't add a whole lot other than to have the discussion around fracking, which has become a freaking bad word, as you can imagine. I mean, energy independence in America would be nice. I know Canada still remains we're getting most of our oil from Canada. I mean, I don't get how our policy around oil has become such a bad situation, particularly when you look in light of Obama's green energy policy was a complete failure. And even though I am pro-green energy, and I think most conservatives are, we want to see it done a little bit more financially sound than what the White House was proposing. So, again, I side with what Peter said earlier. You know, what would be the big deal about pushing this pipeline other than satisfying environmentalist wackos who probably don't know enough about the area to say grace over?
Yeah, and I think, Kevin, if I'm not mistaken, I think the problem here is this would be the first major oil or gas pipeline in America, so we need to get it right. We really haven't, put pipelines in before, so there's all kinds of unknown risks associated with that we have to make sure we take care of. Baloney. We've been doing pipelines for 100 years. There's nothing new here.
I was going to say, yeah, the technology involved here as an engineer and certainly, I will tell you, if you're going to do something like this, you're going to go to places where they've done it before. I don't see any reason why. Look, we're experimenting with solar. Harry Reid just broke ground on a new a new wind farm or something. Or maybe it was a solar farm. There's been unbelievable strides gained in all the other energy processes, be it hydrogen, nuclear, etc. We aren't building new refineries. Even if we do find the oil, we've got antiquated technology around that. The Germans have these supposed refineries in a box practically that make building them exponentially easier and exponentially safer. Why we don't have a firm energy policy is beyond me.
By the way, I'd like to know how many birds and bald eagles were killed, caught up in those the wind turbines. And one of the knocks on the solar panels is that firefighters really can't get up on there because it's too hot, and birds too think it's a pool and fly into it and kill themselves. But environmentalists don't care about that. But if there's a sardine in California, farmers go under a drought because they won't let the water be drained from the sardine. It's all messed up. Congressman?
Oh, absolutely. Like I said earlier, we're missing a huge opportunity for economic growth, job creation, raising wages, prosperity, free markets, global influence, national security. The Obama administration is just is wasting this golden opportunity.
Well, and one of the things I want to say is when you let the XL pipeline, it's become such a polarizing thing, and it really, in the scheme of things, you would think that they'd say we need the jobs. It's not like they're setting the entire energy policy of America over this, but it's become a political hot button, and it's really not that big of a deal. You'd think the administration would want it. You'd certainly think the Republicans would be pushing it, but there you have it.
The unions are pushing it.
Yeah.
They need the jobs.
Well, you know, they downplay the number of jobs. They lie about the longevity of such jobs, and look, it's ridiculous. And I just think it's a win-win.
They also lie about the amount of oil that they say it will actually unleash, you know, or you know, provide to the American economy, and so on and so forth. But look, they lie about the number of jobs that we've lost, the number of jobs that are created, and here you have an actual job-creating industry, and they won't do anything about it. So I think you're understanding it's just politics with the left.
Congressman, let me run this by both of you guys in this segment if I can. Governor Cuomo has just signed off on a bill which basically puts New York in partnership on an interstate bill with the District of Columbia and 8 or 9 other states, whereby they pledge that their electoral college delegates will all vote for the person who gets the most votes nationally, the person who wins the popular vote. Now, this is, we just had Alan Dershowitz on, and he said this is an obvious attempt to circumvent the Constitution and the electoral process, and he believes that they'll be stopped in their tracks by court, someone going to court to try to stop this. I don't see how they think they could get away with this, because it goes against the spirit, is what Alan Dershowitz said, certainly, of how we're supposed to elect our president, and how we do elect our president.
That's right. This is all part of the national popular vote scheme. It says, you know, we'll elect our president by whoever gets the most popular votes. Forget the Electoral College. It's a serious discussion. It's a serious debate worth having. It's not the appropriate way to do it, the stealth way, going through state legislatures and those types of things. If we're going to change it, let's do it the appropriate way. Get the supermajority votes in Congress, have the states ratified, have a national debate. This is all again by the left, an effort to circumvent the current electoral process and through a stealth campaign ensure their electoral dominance moving into the future.
Well, and the other thing
it says that Kevin, by the way, it says that that New Jersey is one of these states. If that's accurate, that means Christie signed off on this. But go ahead, Kevin. We got a minute.
Well, here's the thing: if you can't sell this turd of valid voter ID, which of course everybody knows is ridiculous, then you try something like this. I personally don't think that there's a way around it. But let's remember, we're dangerously close to the left having control of the Supreme Court. So who would know what they would do if we had 2 people decide to retire or what have you? But to Peter's point, it's definitely trying to get around the system.
Yeah, absolutely. And could you imagine, the revolt, I'm not saying violence, but the revolt, if you think we have 2 Americas now, red and blue, if a majority of states in this country are rendered basically worthless in the selection of the President of the United States,
I'd revolt.
I don't think it's going to be, I don't think it's going to be fun. All right, guys, thank you. We'll see you later. And when we come back, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be joined by the former head of the CIA, the former head of the NSA, and it's the same person. That's right. General Michael Hayden will be here. Lots to talk about with Russia and Ukraine on the Steve Malzberg Show on Newsmax Television.
We don't just talk about the news, we talk to those making news. This is the Steve Malzberg Show.